With AEW making their announcement that they will be airing on Wednesday nights on TNT, there are strong rumors that suggest Vince McMahon will be running NXT. There are even rumors that NXT will be moving from the WWE Network to USA or Fox 1. These are two huge rumors that could seriously affect NXT. This is done to combat the rival company. WWE is deeply afraid of allowing AEW to become successful. Therefore, this is apparently the best strategy to utilize. I don't know how it makes sense, but it does apparently. Basically, what this means is that all the hard work Triple H has done over the last 7 years will go down the toilet if it's true. Let's jump into reasons why I think NXT would be ruined if Vinny O Mac took over. First things first, NXT will lose the most important aspect of the show, and that is the wrestling. Monday Night Raw and Tuesday Night SmackDown Live are known to tell more stories on the microphone rather than in the ring. NXT, on the other hand, is about the ability to showcase one's talent in the ring. Over the last few years, we've seen some of the best wrestling from the NXT stars such as Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, Aleister Black, Asuka, and the War Raiders, just to name some. Once these people were called up to the main roster, they started to have boring matches. Even DIY, who had one match on Raw with the Revival, showed that Vince McMahon's wrestling booking absolutely sucks. You should expect all this great wrestling to disappear, and that just makes me sad. Another thing that will be affected is the wrestlers and their gimmicks/names. Vince McMahon has this weird obsession where he needs to be in control of absolutely everything and he needs to be the creator. For example, the War Raiders were amazing on NXT. They looked like badasses and had a lot of fun matches in the tag team division. Vince McMahon took them to the main roster, changed their names maybe 3 times, and only put them in matches with enhancement talent, and they're still doing so. They are also really corny, and I don't think they have a personality anymore. This does not just apply to the War Raiders. Many other people are suffering from this as well. Andrade Cien Almas is another person who lost 2/3 of his name. American Alpha were broken up after only a year. And there are so many more examples that it just gets me upset that I don't want to even continue talking about all the talent Vince McMahon buried. I actually might even make a whole video showing every NXT wrestler who were great in NXT that were buried on the main roster. But that's for another time. The next thing that will be ruined are the international wrestlers. This is big for pro wrestling because international wrestlers are quickly becoming some of the best in the world. Vince McMahon does not know how to handle these stars the way Triple H does. Asuka and Io Shirai are two perfect examples. Asuka was undefeated for 500 days and made the NXT Women's Championship as important as the Men's Championship. She was booked to look like one of the strongest talents. Once she arrived on the main roster, Vince McMahon didn't like how she didn't know English and she was pretty much destroyed. Io Shirai is a current example of someone who barely knows English but outshined everyone at NXT TakeOver Toronto. She will either lose this great push or Vince will attempt to make her speak English and it will not work. I legit think Triple H can have Io and Candice be the main feud for the next 6 months. Vince, on the other hand, would not know how to even feature them on television. Andrade is also another perfect example of someone who was great in NXT and doesn't do anything on SmackDown Live anymore except have the same matches with Rey Mysterio. Andrade should have won the Money in the Bank, but he didn't because he doesn't know English, and he's working on improving that because he knows Vince McMahon will not push him otherwise. Another big problem is the overexposure of wrestlers if NXT does move over to the USA Network and becomes 2 hours long. The reason why everything feels extremely special right now is because NXT is only 1 hour long and you don't see these superstars quite often. That's why takeovers feel so much more important as well. When you do see these stars featured on an episode of NXT, you really want to watch it then because it makes for interesting matches or storylines because you don't really see it a lot. However, I think moving to 2 hours will require Vince McMahon to use all the wrestlers every week, and they're going to lose that unique feeling they once had. Finally, the last thing that would happen is Kevin Dunne would take over the production team and would make it feel just like Raw or SmackDown. This would suck because NXT right now feels extremely different from the other shows. It feels a lot more edgy and that's why it works. They also always choose rock songs and make everything feel like the Attitude and Ruthless Aggression era combined. if Vince McMahon does take over, we'll start to hear a lot more Flo Rida songs and bright lights would be taking up the spotlight, which would kill the distinguished show. I think all these reasons prove that Vince McMahon will ruin NXT. I really do hope that I am wrong in this one, or Triple H can continue to fully run it, but who knows, we will find out in the future. Comment below what you think about NXT if these changes do occur. And that is it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at Pllana, and I'll see you all on the next video.